Hi and welcome. I'm John and this is Unique Wargaming Terrain. Guys, welcome back. For everyone that's new, this is a Let's Build video. And what a Let's Build video is about, I basically take a model kit and I show you how to put it together. If there's any discrepancy between the sprue and the instruction, I point it out to you. What I mean by that is the sprue, the instruction could say to you number 29, which is this piece here I'm looking at. But this piece on the sprue could be labelled up as number 25. Okay, and that could be number 29, where the number on the sprue has been the wrong way around. If you suffer with, struggle with instructions, or you suffer from dyslexia, this is a visual aid to help you. If you're interested in a new model or new faction, but not sure how difficult it is to build, again, this is a visual aid to help you. For all my regulars here that have supported the channel for such a long time now, guys, I feel love. Thank you very much. I'll see you in a second, guys. Right, so what am I building today on today's video? Well, you guys will already see by the thumbnail what I'm building, but I'm going to show you now as I'm recording. I'm going to build this monstrosity, Vashtorr, the Arkifane of Master of the Soul Forges. It's an absolute beast of a model. It's not released in single model yet. It's actually only in the Wrath of the Soul Forge King box, and I'm going to show you his stat line. As always, he's a pretty tasty character. He starts with 14 wounds, as you can see there. He's strength 7, toughness 7, hits 2+ in combat and 3+ from shooting. He's a 2-up armor save. He's armed with Vashtorr's Claw and Vashtorr's Hammer. Vashtorr's Claw, sorry for the light flickering, move that up a second. Vashtorr's Claw is a 12-inch range, assault D6, strength 5, so that's nice. AP -2 and 1 damage. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, that attack automatically hits the target, so that's actually quite tasty. Vashtorr's Hammer, it's a close combat weapon. It's ×2 strength, so it becomes strength 14, -2 AP and 3 damage a pop, with 7 attacks to start with. That's quite tasty. So that can be 21 damage in 1 turn. That's quite tasty. Each time an attack is made with this weapon against a vehicle unit, on a successful unmodified roll of 5+, the target suffers 4 mortal wounds and the attack sequence ends. Yeah, that's good, but it's not really that good, because he has the potential of doing, I said, that's 21 damage. But I don't know. He has Walk Strike, which is one of his abilities. But you see Codex Chaos Space Marines for the rules for that. Body of Unholy Artifice. I pronounced that right. This model has a 4+ invulnerable save. Each time an attack is allocated to this model, subtract 1 from the damage characteristic of that attack to a minimum of 1. That's pretty tasty. In your command phase, you can select one of the following abilities. Unholy Mechanisms. When you select this ability, select one friendly Traitor Astartes Demon Engine model, excluding character, aircraft or Titanic unit, within 3 inches of this model, until the start of your next command phase. Each time that model makes an attack, add 1 to the attacker's hit roll. That's nice. Ghost in the Machine. When you select this ability, select one enemy unit within 18 inches of and visible to this model. Until the start of your next command phase, half the range characteristic of ranged weapons models in that unit are equipped with. I think they messed the wording up there. But anyway, basically what that means is, if you're being shot at by, say, Space Marines, bolt guns, 24-inch range, he can actually halve that, says 12-inch range for them. That's pretty good. That allows him to get closer to combat before they start, especially with this weapon. But anyway, an Agonize Machine Spirit. When you select this ability, select one enemy vehicle unit within 18 inches and visible to this model. Until the start of next command phase, half the movement attacks characteristics of models in that unit. That's quite a tasty one, especially if you're going up against like Brutalis Dreadnoughts or stuff like that. That's a pretty tasty one. He has a Warlord trait. If Vashtorr the Arkifane gains a Warlord trait, they must have the Lord of Terror Warlord trait. See Chaos Codex Space Marines. He must have. But there's his rules, and he is actually 260 points, which is quite tasty. So, as always, let's have a look at the sprues, see what we can ascertain. Well, first of all, tools needed as always. Mold line scraper. You can use a hobby knife or like a surgical blade or something like that. But if you're using blades, be careful and let people know if you're not alone in the house that you're using the blade, so nobody scares you by accident and you cut yourself. We have clippers, the most useful tool, part of our tools, for taking bits off the sprue. And I have sanding sponge, which has seen better days. I'm going to have to get a new piece of this, but there's still a bit of play on that, I think. But yeah, sanding sponge to get into little nitty-gritty bits. Things like this is going to need sanding sponge. But I might need to get the. It's all fine grit, but this is a solid piece. This is like really solid, whereas this is more flexible. I'm going to have to get another piece of this flexible one. So that's a bit gentler on things like this. And it is a plastic kit, so plastic glue. But I do have super glue just in case. Now, as always, for everyone that's new, the first thing we do is we have a look at the sprues and see what we can define on the sprues to make our job a little bit easier. Well, straight away, there's his base. That's for him to base in. That looks like his foot's going to go in there. But there's some detail in there. Look at that skull hanging off there. There's another few over there. That looks like an arm. That looks like his wings, which I'm actually really delighted that they're like this, because when I put Angron together, he had his wings, but then there was bits that went onto the wings, and it was a bit of a pain. But I'm glad these are nice single pieces. That looks like a spinal column there. It looks like legs. This looks like his front tabard. That looks like his body. Looks like the front piece of his body. There's one of his weapon arms. That is his weapon arm. But there's a lot of fiddly little pieces here, so I'm not overly excited about, but we'll just get onto that and sort them out as we go. We look at these pieces. That's really small, but that's how big the sprue is. There's a big sprue, but there's some big pieces on it. So I'm going to carry on and get things set up ready, and I'll come back to you when we're ready to start on the first few pieces. Right, so after having a little study on the instruction booklet, it's a little bit mad to start off with, because you need this body part, number 5, yeah? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take this piece off, clean it down, but then there's other pieces that go into it before you and the same with the other one before you put them together. So I'm going to clip this off, clean this down, and then I'll show you the next pieces that go with it. And so the next pieces needed, number 6, number 7, and number 8, yeah? So I'm going to clip those off, clean those down, and I'll show you where each of those go. Right, so these pieces are very fiddly. This piece and this piece are very fiddly, but they're very straightforward. So what we have here, let's get up in close, drop a bit of glue into there. And this weird piece, which is actually number 6, just slots over the top like that. Okay, to give you that nice little bit. Now, what I'd say is, just go along, just make sure there's no little bits of sprue still on there, because it is a small piece, so you might miss a piece of sprue. Make sure when you put it along there, there's no join line between the two. And my autofocus is going a bit weird again, so I need to sort that out. But let's sort this piece out first. So this piece then, this piece on top, I think I've actually sanded a little bit off. There's a little bit that's one side of it. I think I've sanded that off. Silly me. Anyway, back to it. Glue on top there. And this piece, I'll put it on before I drop it. Just sits on top, like so. It wants to stay. around. It should just slot on. Like so. Now, I've just noticed on this, there's a piece of sprue in there that I missed. There's a double bit of plastic glue in there. I should actually wait until it's set properly and then take care of it, which I might actually do, because it seems to be a bit of annoyance. And this last piece, well, that's very simple, that goes in there. So there's 3 holes there. Yeah, eeny, meeny, miny. And they just slot into there. So I'm going to glue them in and we'll come back and look at the next piece. So the next piece we need is number 1, which is this other part of the body. Then this is going to be the same thing again, but it's number 3, number 2, and they go exactly the same, and number 4. They go exactly the same as the first one. So let me show you the first one. Yeah, so you have the bits on the crown bit on the side, which is the vent exhaust. On the other piece, that's going to be number 3. You have the little bit that goes on top. That's going to be number 2 on the next piece. And the other piece there, the skulls and the teeth, they're going to be number 4 on the other piece. And they go exactly the same, but on the other piece. So I'm going to put that whole bit there. So I've just seen that. So I'm going to take a bit of plastic glue and just dab it onto there. I don't know if that's my cutting from the sprue or if that's actually just me roughing it up with sandpaper, the sanding sponge. So I'm going to snip those pieces off, clean them down, glue them together so they're going to be like this, but they're going to be the other side. And I'm going to come back to you then, guys. Right, so I have the other side done, as you can see. And they literally, you can see there's bits on the back there, they literally just slide into each other like that. Okay, exactly how it goes. See how it is at the top. Okay, that's how it goes. It's not a very strong point of contact, but that's the best bit is to look at the back bit there. You can see where it connects up. That's going to be the strongest point of contact, and just between that bit there. There is actually, let me just show you this. There's actually a little bit there that sticks out. There's another one there, and on the other side, on the other one, there's actually like a little nip in there. Yeah, that's where they line up. So I'm going to glue those 2 bits together, and we'll come back and look at the next piece. Right, the next piece is a heap of pieces. We're going to start with the top piece, which is number 9, which is this one right here. Okay, crazy ass headpiece. So I'm going to snip that off, clean that down. What I'm actually going to do at this point, because there's a few bits that go onto this, but I'm going to snip this off the sprue to get it out of the way and glue it to the base. Okay, so it's all ready to go. Because as those of you that build models, big models like this, or if you've seen me build big models like this before, you'll know when it comes to legs and line up legs, I don't like it. I like to have everything ready on the base so I can just go straight in case I have to move anything. But I'm going to snip number 9 off, clean that down. I think I've zoomed in too far now, guys. Do apologise. I'm going to snip that off, clean that down, snip this bad boy off and clean this down. And that's going to go on the base, and then I'll show you where this number 9 goes. Right, so this little piece, there's a square bit there. There's a square bit there. There's a slots in there like that. Okay, so I'm going to glue that in. I'll come back and show you where the next pieces are. The next piece is number 10, which is this very small piece here. So just have to be very careful taking off the sprue and cleaning it down. So a sanding sponge comes into its own because that little pipe bit there, just sanding sponge will just go through it nice and easy. I'm going to clip it off, clean it, and then I'll show you where it goes. Right, so that little bit up there, this literally just slots in there like that, with the pipe coming forward like that. So I'm going to glue that into place and we'll come back for the next piece. The next piece we need is number 11, which is this chest piece here. So I'm going to clip that, clean that and show you where it goes. This is a very straightforward piece. It just goes in there like that. Okay, jiggle it around a little bit so it covers all the gaps. But you see that little line in between there? Just want a little bit of plastic glue along that just to seal that gap. So I'm going to glue that into place, and we'll come up with the next piece. Our next piece is this crazy looking piece, number 12. So I'm going to snip that, clean that, and I'll show you where it goes, but be careful because these are very small bits. You see there's a little horrible casting line coming across the top there. So again, sanding sponge works absolutely brilliant with this. It's another easy piece. Now, you've got a funny shape at the bottom there, yeah? And you've got this funny shape here, so that just slots on top there. So I'm going to glue that into place, and if you look, it's the bottom of his 6-pack. So I'm going to click that into place, and then glue that into place, and then come back and show you the next piece. Right, so now we're onto his legs. So the first one we need is number 16, which is this one here. It's right next to this long tabard bit, this leg here. We need number 17, which is this piece here, and number 18, which is little leg guard. Okay, just those two pieces and this leg. I'm going to snip those off, clean those down, and I'll show you how they go together. Right, one thing I've got to say, this leg is this side of his body. Okay, so when I put this together, I'm going to put it to this side so I know where it is. Now there is some horrible casting lines along here. See the one there? But don't panic about that too much, because this little bad boy has a circle. There's a circle there that just slots on there, so that's going to cover it up. So you don't have to panic about it too much. The first bit you want to start with is his foot. Okay, so the front of his foot is all this area here, and that just literally just slots into there. Okay, connects to the back there. So look at that horrible casting line along that whole pipe work. I still have to get that. Yeah, so I'm going to glue those bits together and then come back and show you the next piece. Camera's gone off focus for some reason. No dropping it, so I'm going to put it that side. So that's that piece, yeah? And the next pieces that are needed are, obviously, sorry, not on the camera, the other leg. Okay. Number, where are we? No, not that piece. Where is it? This one up here. Number 15, which is this piece here. And number 14, which is the hoof here. So the shin and the hoof are together. The other leg is there, but don't get confused like I just didn't look at this one. Okay, there's no pipe work that comes out of this shin guard. Okay, so I'm going to snip those off, clean those down. They go together exactly the same way as the other one. For some reason the camera's gone a bit weird. So I'm going to clip those, clean those, glue those, and come back and show you how they go onto the model. Right, this next part is very, very simple. So usually you have problem with legs, but see those circles there? They line up with these. So that literally goes in there like that. So simple. And the other side does the same. So I'm going to glue them into place. That straight away is coming together. I'm going to glue them into place. I'm going to leave it to dry for a couple of hours, properly cure, because the next part's stuff that goes on his chest and everything else. And so I'm going to leave it to dry for a couple of hours and come back to it.